Chris, you bring up a good point, and I got a quick question for you on this. But one thing I want to emphasize here and kind of frame it a little bit differently of what you said. People tend to be really excited and happy about certain accomplishments they have, and they want to put them on their resume, whether it's applicable to the job or not. And so what happens is we need to really self-reflect for a minute and go, does this add value to this specific job in this company? If it doesn't, set it aside, take your pride out of it. I know you were super excited and happy about that accomplishment, but set it over here for a minute if you don't have room for it, right? If you have room for it, sure, put it in. But if you don't have room on your resume, let's move it aside and just have that in your back pocket for maybe an interview conversation, right?
But I think that's the key. The key, why do we have these resumes, is to get to the next stage.
Yeah.
To trigger interest for those folks to want to know more about you. It is very common for people who are not doing exactly what the job is asking for to put all the different things that they have ever done to try to entice you into wanting to know more. And that actually doesn't, because I could validate what Jason said. I've been in internal recruiting teams for a large part of my career. I've led many large ones. I led recruitment at Intuit. I don't have time to look at every single thing. So you got a small window of time and you got to make your value proposition clear. And that doesn't always mean that you have to state that what they're asking for, you have exact experience in a competitive company. No, what we're looking for is we're looking for well-rounded people that we could tell right away have curiosity and interest, that have the skills, and skills can be translated in lots of different ways to pique my interest. At the same time, I've had 80 something recs on my plate and about 65 screaming managers saying that I wasn't serving them properly. And so not everybody's situation when they're recruiting is the same. And so this is where if you understand that the recruiter can be your best friend and on your side, and you play the long game, because it may not just be for this opening today. It is, I want to be at your company. I could add value to your company. Here's why. Here's some extra training that I took since I've got out of the military. I just wanted to let you know about it. So this is a long game, but if you can't present yourself well in person or in a resume or in a LinkedIn profile, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because everybody's too busy.
Right. Yeah, good call.
This conversation kind of jogs memory lane here a little bit. So I'm going to take you guys back in time about 15 months or so to the last time the three of us were together in the same room. And without going into too many specifics, myself, Jason, and Chris, we were all invited to a networking event in the Bay Area to speak to some tech executives that gather sort of informally every few months and talk about various topics. This particular month, the topic was veterans hiring. And so we spent several hours with these folks, very influential, very intelligent people. And I had a couple of takeaways that I think kind of plug into this conversation. The first is they're hungry for military talent, but they don't understand it. Organizations that operate in that space can benefit greatly from military folks, but like a lot of different sectors of the civilian world, they just don't understand the skills that we bring. So that was kind of my first takeaway, is the veteran needs to be able to showcase their transferable skills. And to Chris's point, it needs to be done in a way that hiring manager or that official can understand. So you really got to showcase your transferable skills in civilian dialogue. So that was kind of a takeaway from that time we all had together. The second piece is you got to make a great first impression. Your resume is going to unlock that door just a little bit if you do it correctly via electronically, even in paper, through their ATS, whatever it may be. But that first impression needs to be strong. So you need to get rid of some of that lingo that we talk in, all the different acronyms and jargon that we use as a military community, and you need to be able to speak in that that individual's language, that civilian employer's language. So I remember when the three of us were together, those were big points that came up. These were some very influential executives, and they were saying, we just don't understand the talent and what you guys bring to the table. Help us translate. So that was kind of my takeaway, and I that was my aside. I just wanted to do a little trip down memory lane for you guys.